Hello everyone and welcome to another video on my channel. I'm Adam and today we're bringing another Beast Quest retrospective video where we just go through each series in one video each, just talking about the highlights, the good things of each series. In the last episode I've done series 1, so in this episode I'm doing series 2. So, Series 2, The Golden Armor, introduces another 6 beasts to us. This time, all 6 of them has been created by the returning villain, Marvel. And they are all guarding a piece of the precious golden armor, which has been established in this series, hence the name of the series. Now, something I need to point out. These beasts are pure evil, so no releasing them. They have to die. They have to die. And they all guard the golden armor in different ways. Some wear it, others hide it or protect it. Well, guard it, not really protect it. Now, with these retrospectives, I tend not to try and go on the negatives. If I do, it's not intentional, but I just gloss over them and go back to the positives. These books, now while series 1 introduces 6 beasts, and this series introduces 6 more, the creativity aspects kind of kicks off here to where you have beasts which aren't based on mystical beings or are not combinations of 2 different mystical beings. We do have a combination of 2 mystical beings here. We do have a beast here which is based off a Greek mythology, just change the animal, and others are based on other kinds of legends. Do I know all of those legends? No, I don't. But I will mention whatever I notice. So we're going to start off with, well, actually, we'll introduce the beasts first. First up, we have Zephyr the monster squid, Claw the giant monkey, Sultra the stone charmer, Vipero the snake man, Arachnid king of the spiders, and Trillion the three-headed lion. Now, with what they're based off, Zephyr is a giant squid, which is based off the Kraken, I believe. Claw is just, well, it says in the title, a giant monkey. Don't know what it's based on, probably just a giant monkey. Sultra is a combination of Medusa and a siren. Vipero is a 2-headed snake. Don't really know what that's based off. I'm sure someone will tell me in the comments. Arachnid, I'm not entirely sure either because it's just a giant spider. I'm just going to say Aragog from Harry Potter. And Trillion is I'm going to say based off a Cerberus, but instead of a dog, is a lion. So, yeah. With that, we'll actually go into the series, dive in to really talk about what makes this series so special. To start off, the story, I would say, is easy to read like series 1 is, and I'm going to say more captivating than series 1. Because you actually have not just a quest where you go around, face beasts, release them from an evil enchantment. No. You go around collecting pieces of the golden armor which has been stolen, which I appreciate as a better kind of plot device. I think what makes this series great is that you have a quest but not a copy and paste quest of the different series. You have 2 completely different goals in mind. One is release the beast, the other is to regain the golden armor, collect it back, and put it back safely into its place, which I think is great, very good. Now, like I said, I find this story to be more enticing than Series 1. And the beasts, I would say their designs for creativity have gone up. Compared to a phoenix, a dragon, Bigfoot, a serpent, centaur, and a yeti. We have a squid, a monkey, Medusa, we'll call it that, a snake man, a spider, and a three-headed lion. The creativity aspect is either higher or equal, because they do have their weak points, but they do have strong points which excel. The weak points are weak, strong points are higher. This is for both seasons, by the way. I do like the fact that Malvel isn't actually trying to take over the kingdom this time, not put the kingdom in ruins either. No, he's just stealing the golden armor. He also, uh, when he appears throughout the series, because he does this time, he talks to Tom in a condescending manner to where it's not like he doesn't think he's not gonna win. No, 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 no. It's more along the lines of he recognizes that Tom's a threat, and he's trying to put doubt in his mind to throw him off course, to make him think he's not actually going to do this. Which a bit of a manipulation tactic, which I think is executed very well here. Another thing, the standouts from this series are, of course, Sultra and Trillian. Anyone who's read this series will know these are the standouts. And the weird thing is, though, these are arguably the most powerful beasts of Malval that are in this series. And one appears in the midpoint. I think it's very a great idea to actually have one of the stronger beasts of the series appear as the midpoint beast, because if you start off with two beasts, that's these two, which aren't exactly strong in a way and just kind of there, but then you get to the third beast, the midpoint of this series, the one where you don't want the readers to lose interest, you want to hook them back in. And what better way to have a beast which actually trying to think, which actually haunts an area which is near where Tom lives. And I think that's a fantastic idea to have arguably one of Marvel's most powerful beasts of this series lurk in an area near Tom's village, which puts Tom's people at risk. It's been done before in I don't remember the book, but it's in the future series. Or maybe it's Zephyr, not sure. But Beast lurks near where Alina's from as well, so it happens there. But Sultra being the midpoint, but also bringing Tom back to his roots where he started and putting his family at risk, I think is a great aspect, a great attribute, really. To add on, you go to the strongest beast of this series, which, well, the one that Marvel says is the strongest. We have Trillian. Being established in this book as virtually indestructible, seeing him actually take down one of the original beasts and make him look almost like a ragdoll in a way really shows the intimidation factor which they're going for this beast. And that's also been executed well, to the point where Tagus tries to fight back, but he just can't because he's no match against Trillian. Which is kind of upsetting, but also like, okay, this shows how strong this beast is. And speaking of Tagus, all these beasts do have one of the good beasts come back in their book to fight them, and in most cases finish them off. In Zephyr, it was Sepron. In Claw, it was Furno. In Sultra, it was Arcta. In Vipero, it was Epos. In Arachnid, it was Nanook. And of course, in Trillian, it was Tagus. So these beasts, the good beasts of Avantia, have returned to try and make a name for themselves, defeat a beast of their own. And for the most part, they do a great job, except for Tagus, who gets treated like a ragdoll. Well, no more on that. But the main highlight of this series when it comes to the beasts, in my opinion, is Sultra and Trillium, because they are arguably, without a doubt, the strongest beasts of this series. And having them, well, having Sultra be near where Tom's from and having Trillium defeat a beast just shows the strength and the wickedness of these beasts, as well as Malvo creating these beasts, putting them in a certain way in a place where they're scattered throughout all of Avantia, I think is very well done, and kind of puts Tom's horseshoe fragment they got from Tagus to good use, going from one side of the kingdom to another. Any negatives? No, but I'm not going to mention them, so no. But this series, I'd say, is very well done. The pieces of golden armor that each of them were protecting or guarding. Zephyr was protecting the golden helmet, which increases eyesight from long distances. Claw was guarding the golden chainmail, which gives strength of heart. Sultra guarding the breastplate, which just makes you stronger. Vipero can guarding leg armor, which gives you increased speed. Arachnid guarding the gauntlets, which increases sword fighting capability. And Trillium was guarding the golden boots, which increase jumping power. Bit of an anticlimactic end with that golden armor power, but okay. With this series, I am of course re-ranking these books, so let's get to that. But first, I need to mention that the whole story aspect is enticing, easy to read, and in my opinion, better than Series 1. Because Malvo actually catches and kidnaps Adoro. And in certain aspects, we see him being tortured in different ways, hung above a boiling vat of tar, I think, and so on and so forth, to the point where you're thinking, oh my god, is he going to be okay? Negative, he does get out scot-free. We don't even know how he gets out, but we just go like, oh, okay, cool. But another a good thing though is that it ends on a cliffhanger to what makes you think what's going to happen next, because it ends with Tom and Alina going through a portal to a new realm, which we'll get to in my next retrospective video. But for now, that is all I need to say about Series 2. We're going to get to the rankings now. So with that, my least favourite still stays the same, being Claw the Giant Monkey. Yeah, this beast is the weak points of this series, and whilst I do appreciate this series as a whole and each of these beasts bringing something to the table, I know Claw brings something with the whole new environment, battling in the jungle kind of setting, a dense jungle, which is the only good thing, but I really can't find it in myself to appreciate Claw for what he is. I've never liked my monkey beasts, and whilst I do appreciate bringing a new environment to fighting, I can't in good conscience be like, yeah, this is great, I like it. I don't. Fifth place, we have Zephyr the Monster Squid. Now, why is it being fifth place? I don't want it to be assumed that I don't like this beast, because I do. However, it is ultimately just a giant squid. What pulls it up for me above Claw is that personally I find the water fights more interesting than jungle fights. And also bringing it back Sepron, which almost makes Zephyr look like a ragdoll in a way, being beaten quite easily, is a bit anticlimactic. But like I said, the story, the opening to this series is so enticing, where I feel hooked already, like a fish to bait. Fourth place, we have Vipera the Snake Man. I don't really have a problem with this beast at all. It does tackle the whole heat element to fighting again, but this time it's not as hot as a volcano, but still very hot and sweltering. And that's a new environment to battle in, which I think is great. But I feel like something was missing from this beast. It's great. It's great, don't get me wrong. I just think something is missing, and I don't know what. Up next, in third place, we have Arachnid. new environment with the whole cave battles, which I also like, which is why it's above Vipero. I don't feel like nothing's missing, but on judged by the cover, you wouldn't think this beast would be as good as it is. But then you read it and you're like, oh my god, this is great. This beast not only guards gauntlets, but guards people from being released. He traps them and just leaves them there, waiting and hoping for help. And when help comes, he'll trap them too. Second place, we have Trillian the Three-Headed Lion. Now, this, in my opinion, is a fantastic finale. Not doesn't reach quite as high of the standards and stakes that Epos has left or made, but it's still quite a good one in my opinion, to where it establishes that these beasts can be powerful to the point where you can't rely on your sword and shield to defeat them. You need to use the environment around you. But yeah, with Trillian being established as a powerful beast, being able to take down Tagus very easily, and then having to use a river to defeat him rather than just a weapon, I think is a great ending to this beast and establishes Trillian as the standard for how powerful you want beasts to be. And then we got Sultra being my favourite of the series. Now, Sultra comes to no surprise because its tone just feels different. Instead of like action, head on, button heads, punch, punch, punch kind of thing, it's almost alluring in a way, to where this is going to lead to a fight, but it doesn't seem as head on. It's more like, I'm going to say, graceful in a way, which is weird to say, but I do think this fight is kind of graceful when it comes to how it's done. And that's not a negative in a way, because it changes the tone and shows that these beasts can be fought in more than just head-on collisions. Because Tom can't make eye contact with this beast, but needs to work his way around this beast to defeat her. And I think it was done quite well, honestly. I don't really see a problem with it. If there's any negative about this series, I would say that some of these beasts have quite simple designs. So, with a point that was given to me, along with multiple other points which I mentioned in this video, so thank you, Lucas, for those points which you've given, I can see where you're saying where the creativity starts to shine, but it only shines with 3 of these beasts, and 2 of them are just animals with extra heads, whilst the other one is actually a beast. So the creativity kind of starts here, but I don't see it actually taken off until series 5. Maybe series 4 or 3? I don't know. Or 6? I don't know. But I don't believe series 2 starts the whole creative trend, but it does continue the story beautifully and ends it on a great cliffhanger, which leads you into the next series. This series, as far as to my knowledge, is Jack Griffin's favourite series of Beast Quest, and I can see why. It has an enticing adventure, a great fetch quest, and some really good beasts here. And even its weakest point does have a highlight. And whilst I personally can't see the highlight, and I'm probably not the right person to mention the highlight because of how much I dislike this beast, the fact is that I only dislike one but like the other 5 just establishes what I'm trying to say about this series being so good. Now, with this, I'm sure there's something else I need to say. I credit to Lucas for the points that he made about the series. If I haven't mentioned any points, Lucas, I apologise. Series 3's retrospective video, not sure when that'll come out, probably within the next few days, but I'm going to wait until I got a day off from work, so don't know when that'll be. But I like to say with this series so far, I'd like to know what your opinions are if you want me to continue. I gave you a little taster of what to expect. Obviously, with the seasons I adored, I would have more to say. And with ones I'm not as fond of, I'm not going to have as much to say, but I'm going to try and mention highlights of every series. Even if that includes rereading the series, I will. Which will delay it, but I will. So, I actually haven't reread series 1 or 2 for these retrospectives. I'm just going along with what I remember, but also with what I like about them. And I do remember quite a lot from these 2 seasons. Uh, but that's all I can really say. When it comes to actual proper review aspects, I do still recommend going to Lucas. Whilst his reviews for series 1 and 2 may be outdated and may need updating due to the in depth story analysis that he does in later seasons, uh, his reviews on these may need updating. He may not do it. He may not. He may do. I don't know. I personally, I think my beast views need updating as well because I think I've been a bit too kind when it comes to the scoring of the beasts and harsh in the beginning. So I think I need to adjust that, but I probably won't do that either. I think I'm just stalling at this point. So if you have any aspects I didn't bring up, please mention in the comments below. Let's start a good conversation. I'm happy to. But with that, that's all for this time. If you like what you saw, leave a like, leave a comment, don't forget to subscribe, press the notification bell down the corner below. Jack Griffin, if I done your favorite series, fast to my knowledge, good retrospective video, please say. Your opinion is important to me with this series especially. And I'll see you next time.